The show off. The show for people who want to find out who they are, then do it on purpose. And here is your host, Janine Coombs.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Show Off. And today we have a massive show off called Sophie Lee. Sophie is a voice and visibility consultant for female founders with a fire in their belly and a mission to share. Through her story stage and somatics process, she helps women uncover their one burning message and share it powerfully. An award-winning journalist and mental health advocate, she's author of Beyond Palatable, a manifesto for unapologetic women. Sophie Lee!
Massive show off!
Yay! Unite! How are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. You have just finished. Have you just finished your manuscript, or did you finish it a while ago? Of Beyond Palatable.
I finished it in September, early October, and then I have been obsessively editing it and reviewing it ever since.
So tell us about it. I mean, I love the title because you kind of get it, but tell me more. Tell me more, and also just to say, I mean, I knew I had to get you on the vidcast because this is absolutely key to what I'm trying to have conversations with people about. We're trying to break free of the boxes and the scripts that we had from childhood and the things we were told we should be to fit in. And this is obviously about becoming beyond palatable. We're not trying to be palatable anymore. We're leaving that behind. So tell me more, please.
As humans, we are conditioned from the moment that we are born to be acceptable. And we do it without even realizing. As adults, we do it. We talk about babies as being good if they don't cry, or as being good if they sleep through the night, without realizing that when babies are crying or when babies are waking up in the night, that's them doing their most natural thing, which is being self-expressed, communicating their needs in a way that is right and true for them. So from the moment that we are in the world, we are told we need to be a certain way to make everybody else around us comfortable. And for women, that's even more intense. As women, young girls, we need to be quiet and sweet and good and nice. And we have to sit there and not be too much and not be too loud and not be too messy. And this creates a sense of dysregulation within our nervous systems because we are trained from a really young age that we need to abandon ourselves, abandon our needs, our emotions, our desires, all of the things that make us human and tell us what we need to do. They're there for a reason. They're there to guide us through our lives, navigate us. We're told that we need to push that aside and make everybody else more important than us. Everybody else's comfortability is more important than our own comfortability. And so then when we find ourselves in adulthood, we often find that we are totally disconnected from our sense of self, from our needs, from our emotions. We are constantly people-pleasing. Or we might find ourselves getting really angry really easily or really irritable or maybe sometimes quite controlling. All of these things are signs of a dysregulated nervous system. It's all a fight, flight, freeze or fawn response, which then ends up driving our lives and our behaviors. And it creates havoc with ourselves and our bodies. It's why women are more and more getting very unwell, that chronic diseases in women are much, much higher than they are in men, like exponentially higher. And it also ruins our relationships because we're not showing up as our best selves, because we can't show up as our best selves, because we're completely out of sync with what that even looks like. So this book is about why we self-abandon and the impact that has, and then how do we become more accountable to taking the action we need to take to reclaim our truth and our voice and our expression in a way that isn't about fuck the rules and just like blow it all up, but that's true and nurturing and honest to ourselves, and also about creating connection with those around us as well. And it's been a real journey of discovery because this issue is so deeply ingrained in women. We're looking at thousands of years of stories and history and politics and all of the ways that it was genuinely dangerous for our ancestors to be seen and to use their voices, that even though today we're told we can have it all and that we can be them, we are allowed, we're free, all of these things that we're told, that's fine, except that the society that we live in actually doesn't support that at all.
Yeah, I can't remember who, you'll probably know. Somebody said something like, if some women in the world are not safe, then none of us are safe. And there are some women in the world who are very, 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 very not safe at the moment.
And this is what we forget in the West, is we are a very small percentage of the world, very small percentage. Our reality is not like how the rest of the world's reality is. And the experience of many women in the world, even women living in Western societies, women from the global majority living in Western societies, more are experiencing how unsafe it is to be yourself. And it's almost like now we're going back on any of the progress that we've made. And identity politics, identity policing is one of the most potent forms of oppression. And we buy into it as a collective. We decide that we have the right to disagree with somebody because of who they are, which makes absolutely no sense to me at all. Like how any of these things, any of these issues that are currently in the forefront of the media, like trans rights, anti-racism, women's rights, any of these things, LGBTQIA+ rights, that this is even up for debate is a nonsense. Like, it's mad to me that that's even a thing. But we do, and we come together and we other people, because that gives us a false sense of security within ourselves without realizing that actually the systems of oppression are impacting everybody.
I'm gonna be annoying and play devil's advocate now.
Go for it.
You know, palatable is nice, and if we were all palatable, wouldn't the world be a better place if we just tried to get along? And women have got. I'm trying to make myself believe this. Women have got so many rights now.
Why won't women just pipe down? You can go to work.
Look, I'm trying to play devil's advocate. What's so wrong with being palatable, Sophie? Come on.
There's nothing wrong with being palatable if that's who you are. Like, if your natural disposition is to be agreeable, then crack on. It's only an issue if you are abandoning yourself. That's the really key part of it. It's if you're pretending to be somebody that you're not, that's not damaging just in the sense that it feels bad. It's damaging in the sense that it creates a fundamental distrust within your body. It's a nervous system dysregulation, which causes chronic illness, which causes an inability to connect with yourself and with others. And that's where it becomes a problem. But I'm not saying everybody needs to suddenly start like smashing shit up and like kind of go wild. I'm just saying we need to become more accountable to allowing ourselves to just be who we are, and therefore also allowing others to just be who they are. Because the biggest issue that I see everywhere I look is this, again, it's this constant othering, and women do it to each other all the time. All you have to do is go to a school gates and see how mums treat one another and the judgment that they have in the PTA WhatsApp group or Mumsnet. Like, I'm not a mum, disclaimer, but and I can probably say this a bit more objectively because I'm looking in on the outside being like, why are you doing this? Why are you using your precious time and energy to judge other people? And it's because you don't feel good about yourself, because you're abandoning yourself, because your life doesn't look like how you actually want it to look, and you don't know how to say, this isn't how I want my life to look. And we're all just pretending all the time. And as a result of that, most people, maybe most is extreme, but many people are so miserable and disconnected from themselves, and as a result, each other. But yeah, I mean, I've seen it a lot where it's like, oh, women, shut up now. Like, you've got it now. It's fine. You can work and what have you. But obviously we know that the truth is far from that, and that women still are very much not equal. And that's just if you look at it as women as the conglomerate, and then you start looking at it intersectionally, and it becomes a complete clusterfuck. And the more that we're gaslit into just be quiet, stop being too much, just be grateful with your lot, the more that perpetuates the oppressive cycle. And silence really is the number one tool of the oppressor.
Just shush now. Yeah, I mean, I completely am on board with everything you're saying, because I was that critical woman. I mean, I can still, I'm in the coaching world, so I've had tons and tons of coaching. I bloody love being coached. And I love speaking to coaches, and therapy and all that, like noticing your biases. Like I would have noticed my biases. I was so critical, and I was trying to make myself feel better. I didn't realize. I was like, I don't feel like enough. I don't have enough self-esteem. I don't have any bloody self-esteem. Let's be horrible about that person over there, because then if they're in the wrong, maybe I'm right.
100%. And that's where we can find compassion for bullying and for mean behavior, because happy people are not mean. And at the same time, we have to, if we want to live a kind and happy and expansive life and connected life, we have to become really aware that what we are doing, how we are judging, is actually just a mirror of our own, or a projection of our own insecurities. And that's another reason why women, but generally people, don't want to seem like they're too big for their boots, or like they've got too full of themselves, because those around them project their insecurities and try to keep them or pull them back down again. And that's another thing that I talk about in the book, of we have to get more comfortable with being uncomfortable, because the more that you become self-expressed, the more joyful your life becomes, the more rich your experiences become, the more the people around you who don't yet have access to that, or don't allow themselves access to that, will hate you for it. And they will hate you for it. They will pull you down. They will be a dick. That will happen, because that's what human beings do. We see each other as threats when we don't feel secure in ourselves, and then we project all of that onto the other person.
Yeah. I felt that in primary school. I was an avid French and Saunders fan.
Oh yes, me too.
I wondered at them, because I was like, on the one hand, girls are meant to be pretty and quiet and behave, and they're pulling faces and dressing up and looking ugly and silly and being, I was just like, wow. And at the same time, I was like, that is not an option for me. That is not for me. And if I met somebody like that, being loud, wearing bright clothes, all the things I wanted to be, I would be like, oh, like I'd have a visceral reaction. I'd be like, oh, they're
a bit much.
Yeah, it's just a bit much to be doing all the things you're saying. So,
oh God, my gosh, 100%. And I have also been that judgmental, bitchy person, and I was a deeply unhappy person, and that those two things generally do come hand in hand. And it's not about judging that, it's about holding a mirror up to that and saying, you actually are responsible for your own future, your own story, your own potential. So stop bothering about everybody else over there and your reactions, and start thinking about using all of that energy, because it's such wasted energy, using that instead to create the life that you actually want to live in.
Now I'm going to paraphrase you here, so bear with as I mangle your words.
Okay.
Your mum was a single mum and encouraged you to be loud and stompy and to whirl around with your arms stretched out.
I don't think she encouraged me.
Oh, really? I got that from so I've obviously misquoted you there. So because I read that and I was like, well, she was encouraged to.
No, I wouldn't say I was encouraged. I don't think she had a choice.
She reluctantly let you.
She said that she used to have to run me off after school. So and also I think another side of it is I was undiagnosed neurodivergent, and I have a lot of energy just naturally. So school wasn't great for me because you have to be still and you're not allowed to be fidgety and you're not allowed to speak. So I'd have to bottle it all up the whole day. And then afterwards, I'd have so much energy that I had to get rid of. So she would run me off and let me just like whirl around and get rid of all of the energy before taking me home. I don't know if that was something she wanted to do, but she did it. She did it anyway. And she had her kind of coping mechanisms to help me regulate. But interestingly enough, nobody knew that I was neurodivergent until I was an adult. And I find that mad because it's just all of the stories that she's told me. Like I used to have like complete breakdowns in M&S. For some reason, it was always M&S. And the way that my mum would help me deal with the meltdown was to take me to the nightie section where all of the soft like material, and just put my pushchair next to the material, and I just like soothe myself with this. I'm like, and you had no idea that I was neurodivergent, really?
The signs were there, but it was a different time, and
quite obvious. Well, you say that it was a different time, but my little brother was diagnosed, so it wasn't really. It was just because it was just because you girls, again, like women, girls, it's totally different. Our health, our psychology is just not understood at all, or because it's not researched. And women are very quickly diagnosed as all sorts of really extreme mental health issues that usually are actually neurodivergence, undiagnosed neurodivergence. And it can be very, very traumatic and very damaging to essentially tell a young girl that she's completely crazy, because that's an easier thing to do than to understand what's actually going on for them and that their brain just works differently to other people's.
So you mentioned that you haven't been as happy and accepting of yourself and supportive of other people. You know, you previously you did have this critical voice and critical of others. So do you think that was a result of you being sort of squashed into a box and not diagnosed and what have you as a childhood? What was that story? What was that through line?
I think it was partially because of that. And also because quite a lot of childhood trauma and just a lot of things that happened when I was younger that created challenges in my childhood. And then when I became an adolescent, hormones, all of that started to be at play, but also because I didn't really feel like I belonged. And so I would constantly try to be what I thought people wanted me to be to fit in. And then when I was 13, 14, discovered drugs and alcohol, which was like perfect, absolutely perfect, because then I could just take this pill or this powder and that would change my state. The people around me with states were also changed. Like there was no longer that feeling of disconnect and judgment. And that state change became really, really addictive. So then I got sucked into an addiction spiral that lasted, well, forever, really. I think it probably will always be something that I have to deal with. But that's also a really common experience for people who are neurodivergent and haven't had the adequate support to understand their brain and their neurochemicals and how to navigate that. So you find the thing that gives you what you're looking for. Really, it's quite a normal response, I think, to something that is very challenging for people.
Yeah, it does sound like a common tale, you know, numbing with, if it's not drugs and alcohol and sex, if it's not any of those things, then it's work, or it could be awful. It's sort of like that.
Yeah, I mean, work is still my thing that I like plug into, and I'm like, but it's all a work in progress. And I think the thing that has helped me so much is compassion for myself and grace for myself. And my dog is about to bark because she's been silent for a whole 10 minutes, and it's way too long for her to be quiet for. Hey, there we go. I'll just get her out. Hey. So the irony, of course, is that she is a very gobby mistress, and I am talking to you about embracing your full self, but I really wish she'd embrace less of herself, to be honest.
What's her name?
Her name's Lily. She's a Romanian rescue, so she's very flighty.
Oh,
anyway. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so then that's why I now am trained in somatics, trauma-informed somatics, because what changed my life was discovering the work of Gabor Mate, specifically in the context of addiction and trauma, and also doing my own work on my body, the connection to my body, and accessing the truth of myself outside of the stories of like what's good and bad, and moving more into what's helpful and unhelpful behavior, and understanding that a lot of it is a nervous system response.
Yeah. I mean, you're sort of preempting my next question there, because what I was going to ask you is, how did you go from this place of not self-love, the opposite of that, and self-loathing and using drugs and what have you, to owning yourself and loving yourself? And would you think somatics was the key, or was it a combination of things?
I think it was a combination of many different things. The first one was eventually finally stopping doing drugs, because surprisingly not good for you.
How did you stop? Because, it's hard to stop if it's like a bit chicken and egg, isn't it?
Yeah, so I got quite a lot of help with my relationship with myself, and I did so many different things all at once. So from your more obvious therapy, talk therapy, which I find the least impactful for me personally. And then somatics was part of it. I started to do a lot more movement, weightlifting, a lot of yoga, a lot of being in nature, where I'd never really connected with nature before. I did all sorts. I did like spiritual cleansing. I had a shaman feathering me and like fluffing my energy and freeing my heart from its shackles, and all sorts, literally all sorts. So really, really difficult to pinpoint the exact thing. But I think it was honestly sobriety. Like, that was the thing that broke me open, because I had to deal with all of the things that I had been drinking and doing drugs to escape from. And so I went through probably about a year of extraordinary pain to like process all of this stuff. And that once it was processed, then I could let it go. And that really, really was the key for me. And then it was like the world had turned itself to high definition, and I was like, why did nobody tell me how beautiful it is? And looking at trees and suddenly feeling a sense of wonder and awe and curiosity in all sorts of different ways. And the other thing that's quite profound about going through something like that is that, because it is really hard, and the only person who can do that for yourself is you. You learn what you're capable of. You learn your most brilliant parts as well as your most difficult parts, and you learn how much more extraordinary you are than you thought you were. And that's why, I mean, for me, people who've dealt with serious mental health and addiction problems are like, before I even know them, I know that they're going to be someone that I want to know, and they're going to be someone far more extraordinary than your average person, because it is extremely difficult to go through something like that.
Yes. Where can people get your book? Presumably there's a wait list, is there?
a wait list. Yes, it's very exclusive. No, it's not exclusive because it will be in all major bookshops, and it's currently on pre-order in all major bookshops, which is wild to me. If you search Beyond Palatable, you can find it in the Guardian bookshop, Blackwell's bookshop, Waterstones, Amazon, but don't buy it from there. But if you wanted to pre-order it, you can. I would encourage you to please do it through Waterstones, because I really want them to stock it in all of their shops, and they will do that more if it's being sold more or bought more, even if more people buy it through the website.
Yeah, and what if people want, they can't wait for your book and they want a bit more Sophie Lee magic in their life? Where should we send them?
LinkedIn is where I'm most present. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Sophie Jane Lee, and you can find me on my website, which is electricpeach.co.uk.
Super. And wherever I am, because I tend to just pop up wherever Sophie turns up, I'm there.
Yeah, and we're going to be on a stage together.
We are higher voltage.
Yes, I'm very excited about that.
Awesome. We'll put that in the link in the show notes as well.
Yes.
Sophie Lee, thank you so much. You are amazing.
Thank you.
This is it. There's going to be a revolution. Women are going to.
And the thing is, the revolution, ironically, the revolution is actually quite soft and quite. It's just about coming home to yourself. It's not about hating on anyone else. It's not about making anyone else wrong. It's just about becoming accountable to showing up for yourself.
Yeah, I love that. And, the work I do is largely with coaches. And these are the themes that come up time and time again. If you're true to yourself, if you're on your own rhythms, everyone else benefits. It's not about being selfish. It's about saying, it's not that I have limited capacity. It's everyone has limited capacity. And if you work well within it and you're nurturing yourself, your kids will benefit, your employees and employers will benefit, your partners will benefit, your parent, there's a knock-on effect
exactly.
on everyone and the environment. And it's all good.
It's a win-win. To become full of yourself is really the goal, because the more full of yourself you are, as in the more full up you are with your own life force, the more you have to spill over onto everybody else. So next time somebody uses that as an insult, just say thank you. That's my ultimate focus right now.
I am full of myself. Thank you so much.
I am full of myself. I've been working on it. Thanks.
You noticed. I love it. We'll leave it on that note then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If not before.
Yes, you will.
You have witnessed the show off with Janine Coombs. If you liked it, hit that subscribe button and share with your friends. For more episodes, go to janinecoombs.co.uk/show off.